Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at criticalblast.com, almost all packed up and ready to move the offices this weekend. So next week's going to get a little hairy, but we will make things work out here. Tonight, we are going back into crowdfunded comics, and we're going to switch over from the Indiegogo scene and slide right into Kickstarter. Yes, it looks like I'm wearing a little hat, doesn't it? That's perfectly placed on my head. We are going to talk tonight with Dorphise Jean, and she is joining us here. Dorphise, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
You know what? If I was doing any better, they'd probably let me get tested for something. I think you're playing the YouTube on your side.
Am I playing YouTube? No.
No. Okay, we're getting a little bit of feedback from the...
You gonna get my headphones?
I'm hearing myself talk back to me.
Let me see what's going on here.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna remove all these browsers that keep popping up.
Oh, yeah. But it's probably just the speakers that are being picked up by the microphone.
Yeah, that's what I'm assuming. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. So you're you've got this. I was sent your comic book by Heroinberg. That's what I wanted to try to get out there. I stumble on my words sometimes. And he said, you got to take a look at this girl's scene. I'm like, okay. And it was like 30 seconds later, I'm tapping in there saying, okay, you got to get on my show. We got to talk about this thing because it looks great. But I'm curious, how did you get into the idea of doing a comic in the first place?
Well, I was the only one of my siblings that was always into comics. I'm a big DC fan, so I was actually reading comics in school. You know, some teachers used to supply it. But what got me to writing comics, when me and my son we went to a comic book store. They had finally opened one up in my area. And we went in there, and the first thing he wanted to touch was Batman. So I'm already mad. I don't like Batman as much. But he wanted Batman, and he wanted the action figure of Batman versus Superman. So I got that for him. And I got him some Batman comics and some Teen Titans. And then I was looking like, do we have any Haitian female female superheroes? Because I'm a big Teen Titans fan as well. So I'm picking up different comics, Miles Morales, Wonder Woman, and they're like, no. So I'm like, okay. And I know the only Haitian character I know is Dr. Voodoo and Calypso. She's the villain. So I'm like, okay, I want to learn how to write comics. So I contact my friend Nats, and I'm like, how do I create comics? He said, well, one of my friends, he draws comic books. I can put you down with Terry. So Terry gave me the format of writing comics, what books to buy, and he was the first person to create my character based on my animated version of myself. I just told him how I want her to look, her personality, and and then he created her from there.
Very cool. Yeah, Justin Dutton's in the chat. He says Shadow Man is also Haitian. And I was thinking the only character I could think of in DC who was Haitian is a bad guy. And you mentioned Teen Titans. There's who was it? It wasn't the Brotherhood of Evil because they were X-Men, but it was like the bad guys led by Monsieur Mala and the Brain. Monsieur Mala probably as well. But Hungan was like this techno voodoo doctor kind of thing.
I need to go look him up.
He was using computers and voodoo magic to do his thing that he did of controlling.
Yes, I'm saying there's not that much heroes. Like the only hero, Lucky Marvel came out with Dr. Voodoo, and he's one of the most prominent Haitian heroes. So I'm like, okay, so we needed a woman. So that's what I came into. I wanted to create. And I ordered some books, how to write comics. There was other nice indie creators that actually showed me scripts on how to write it. And I just took off from there. I had to learn how to budget, create a creative team, and I paid off the book myself. It took me a while because I had to find an artist, but I started off paying it off with my own money. So when the book was finally done, I was broke. I'm like, I don't have no money to print it, so I kickstarted just to get it printed, and people supported me, and they liked it the first issue. So and it's been good from there on. I got it that book reviewed. People tell me what I need to work on. And the one thing everybody always tell me, your first book it's always gonna have a lot of flaws. So
sure.
So I say issue 2, I have to bring it. So I work with different editors for issue 2. I wanted a different route, and that's one of everybody's favorite issue right now, issue 2. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta do better than issue 2. So I got a new editor, Haitian, Greg. Greg is one of the best prominent indie creators. He's won several awards, Laugh Awards. So he's Haitian, so he helped me edit it. He helped me not my biggest issue was dialogue. So he made sure I wasn't too cliche, and he's a big comic books fan. So he really assisted me, and I felt like I elevated as a writer. So I'm pleased.
I think this is the right team to handle this too, because I was talking about Hungan, and you were talking about Dr. Voodoo. I think one of the problems that the mainstream comics industry has for certain, when they try to do something like, hey, we need a Haitian superhero, or we need a Japanese superhero. If you look at what they've done, almost every time they've tried to create some sort of international hero, they take every trope about that country and shove it into a character with a cape. So you get Rising Sun, you get the Seraph from Israel. He's wearing Samson's cape, or the lion Samson had. Everything is just like, the guy from Ireland, he's Jack O'Lantern, which is an Irish myth. So to have somebody who's actually part of that country and part of that heritage can say, yeah, we do some normal everyday kind of stuff too. It's not all based around this thing you see just in.
Yes, because they all talk about voodoo. I'm like, they've done more than just voodoo. Like, they're the first Caribbean country to to fight for freedom. Like, first Caribbean, like, that's not all Haitians do. We're very comical. They're strong. They're fearless. I've been to Haiti like twice. They like to play jokes. Like, they're very humble. But they have flaws as well, just like we have flaws here. So you can't be talking about the same thing.
They're like real people that way, aren't they?
Exactly. They are.
Well, I've got your Kickstarter pulled up here, and I've saved it to the video section. Since you made a video, we're going to show it and let people see what it is. I'm going to give it full screen and take a look at this. It's a little long, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's my little voice acting. I have to bring my little voice acting into play.
Well, we got plenty of time, so let's just kick into it here. Here we go.
My name is Dorphise. I am the creator and writer of Spirit's Destiny. Who is Spirit? Most importantly, who is Destiny? Destiny is a Haitian teenage rebellious teen from Miami. Many of you may be unaware, Destiny is a junior at Montville, Miami Senior High School. This is the first issue. You learn about Destiny's persona and troubles she encounters. Destiny decides to sneak out and learns her choices lead to severe consequences. So in issue 2, we are in the spirit realm, and it's continuing in issue 3, where you will witness the obstacles that Destiny faces. The whole purpose of my Kickstarter is to raise funds for the closing productions of the 2 issues. All the funding will go towards the recouping expenses for the creative team, shipping, and Kickstarter fees. Some of the rewards you can expect on this Kickstarter. the remastered of issue 1. We have prints, Funko Pops, action figures, and other comics available. We have plenty of items that can be added onto your tiers. I have a new creative team, guys. Greg Ulisse as my new editor, who is well known for his book Asanana, which is a great series. Check it out, guys. Matteo, he's my new penciler inker, who's pumping up these amazing pages, and is complemented by Jackson Godwin, an elite colorist from Nigeria, and my marvelous letterer Francisco. So please, guys, support us on this Kickstarter. Help us get funded. I appreciate you all. I sound so innocent.
That you have dove all in on this thing. I mean, it's okay. Granted, it's your third issue. I don't know how successful your first 2 issues have been. You're 2/3 of the way funded already, with still 20 days to go. And you're probably finding the same thing I've seen with a lot of ones, that when you deliver on a first and second issue, people start coming in saying, "Oh yeah, she really makes a comic book. She's not just taking people's money."
Yeah,
But,
I don't play that when it comes to people's comics at all. My second issue, I actually did pretty well. It was for $4,000. I made the publisher made like what, over 8,300. I dropped it on Black History Month, so now I'm embarking on Black History Month on Monday. So that's totally awesome. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
yeah, you've got action figures, you've got Funko Pops. This is stuff that you wouldn't normally see on a character unless it was like 20 years in the distribution system already, and with a movie.
My creativity has no limitations. This is the best thing about being independent. I make all the rules. I wanted a action figure, and after this comic, I can't wait to work on my son's children comic book, because I'm gonna have a action figure based on him as well, for special needs children.
So you're saying it's a different comic book that your son's working on with you?
Yes, he's part of my universe, and he's special needs. I've worked with special needs children, so I wanted them to have representation as well. So I'm working on that. He's gonna also have his own action figure. He's excited about that, and Funko Pop dolls. I just got to make time in writing. You know how it is with us creatives. My mind be in all different places. It's like I have like ADHD. I can't be focused, so I'm trying to stay focused right now.
Yeah, speaking as a fellow writer, I completely understand the issue. When it's time to write, everything's a squirrel.
Yep.
And it's hard to get focused. So I love that your son's getting involved here, because I'm seeing more and more, especially this past couple of months. I'm talking with a lot of people who are working with their kids to create comic books, and that's generating this next generation of creators who are going to be making comic books. Are going to be the kids who are working with their parents now. I know at least 2 10-year-olds that I've backed on certain occasions who've done comics with their dads. There's a 15-year-old who's flying it all by himself, and he's doing a great job. And there was a couple of just earlier this week. So it's a trend that's coming along here. I love seeing that.
Yeah, and I'm a world history teacher, so I have to hear about anime, manga all day for my students. So yeah, they're really into it. I bring comic books for them in my class. Once they're doing their assignment, they just be reading comics or they be drawing. So yeah, the new generation are really into comics. So, and me being part of liking comics is kind of abnormal for my culture, because growing up they're like, "Oh, you're weird," and I'm like, "Okay, no, you're weird. I'm just different," So there's that.
Do you get much pushback on having comics in the classroom?
No, they need to read. The longer they're reading, nobody cares.
Yeah, and it's so. I was reading comics at 4 years old, and nobody knew I could read until I was 6 because I just thought everybody could do it, so I didn't tell anybody I could read. But comic books, it's the only medium where the words and the pictures, it engages both sides of the brain at the same time. Movies don't do that. Books by themselves don't do that. Both are good, but nothing works like a comic book does. And if you've got a child that's, needing to develop cognitive skills, comic books are perfect for getting the brain to start gearing up on both sides and working together.
That's true.
So happy to see that happening in schools now.
Yeah, I have to bring it for my autistic children. They really love comics. They really, really love it. So that is so true. Well,
what inspired the character of Spirit for your comic book here? I mean, I know that you're kind of basing it on your own personality, but as far as and that you knew that there was a need to be met there for a Haitian superhero, but as far as a secret origin story and how she comes to get the powers that she has and what those powers are.
My inspiration came from I like the underdogs, Rogue and Raven. They were and Wonder Woman. They were and Storm. Those 4 were always my inspiration when it came to creating Spirit. As you can see, she has the little gray streak. Rogue got a gray streak, and Storm has the gray hair. So I wanted them to, I want to symbolize them into my character. And they both, all of them are very snarky, sarcastic. So they all have she has some of their personality traits, but those are most of my personality traits as well. And I want her to be fierce and strong. Those characters are so strong, and they come from a very dark background. So this is what I wanted to do with this character. Her backstory is still building. I haven't really touched base on it. Right now, you guys only seen when she was a baby. How her interaction with her mom or her father. Growing up, my parents were not that affectionate, so I actually put that in the story. So I wanted, my storyline to be very authentic. That's one of the reasons why Spirit, as you guys keep reading the story, because I had to rewrite, I rewrote issue 1. You guys will see the relationship between her grandmother and her mom. And the grandmother in the story is based on my late grandmother. She raised like over 25 kids. So and the grandma is one of the most prominent characters in the story. She's one of everybody's favorites. So she's one of the main characters, and she's one of the reasons why Spirit is who she is today.
Back up. Grandma raised how many kids?
Over 25 kids.
Not all her own.
No, she just raised them in this little house. When I went to Haiti when I was 11, I went to I saw my grandma's house. I just see kids just running out, and she raised them. I'm like, all you guys lived in here. So then when we brought her to America, she was so scared because she didn't never seen this type of technology. She used to watch TV. She thought the TV was talking to her, and we're like, no, grandma. So she stayed with us like for 6 years, and then she got homesick, and then she went to Haiti. She passed on. So she lives on in my comics now.
Wonderful. That's a great tribute to grandma to put her in there.
Yeah. My mom, when I told her I put grandma in the comics, she started crying. So she's like, this is another way for her to remember her mom. So
absolutely. So let's take a look at some of the tiers you've got on here. Obviously, if you just want to throw $1 at it, you always can do that with a Kickstarter. Just if you want to help it out. But most people want stuff. So
Larry Stroman did the issue 3 cover.
I saw Stroman's name on the bottom here, and I said, is it Larry Stroman? I did a Control F search. I couldn't find Larry anywhere in the text, so I was going to ask you if that was him.
Yeah, that's him. Larry, I've been trying to work with him for so long, and he hit me up. I got out the hospital, and a week later, he hit me. He said, "Don't I owe you something?" I'm like, "Not really." I'm like, "I've been wanting to work with you." He said, He said, "What you want to do for you?" I said, I want a cover for issue 3. So I sent him. He said, "Send me the image of the characters." I sent it. He did. He had the pencil and ink done in 2 days.
Oh, he's a beast.
Yeah, he said, "You want anything else? Let me know." I'm like, "Yeah, I want something else." So he's knocking out commissions now, and then he said, "Come back to me," because he worked for the big 2, so he's always busy. And I'm gonna bug him a little bit.
So you've got a digital version here. That's the first tier.
Yes.
I used to, brush past digitals, but I found that there's a lot of people who not only like the digital but need the digital.
They don't have no room.
Room. So this Spirit's Destiny #3 and a digital print, Evading Destiny. What is Evading Destiny here? We're talking.
It's a mini poster that I'm going to give you guys. I got several posters of Destiny. So that poster is called Evading Destiny, and I had a pin up done by Keithan. He was another artist. He got that done. The image should be somewhere in the Kickstarter. I have a retro pinup that's done by three former DC artists: Carlos Franco, Mike Bibby, Ross Hughes. So I didn't post it up, but that's part of one of the stretch goals. So some people are still in love with retro art. So I'm like, okay, let me have this as a stretch goal.
I'm gonna scroll all the way down here to the bottom, see if I can't find those stretch goals.
Yeah, that art, you see. Yeah, and the stretch goal's not there yet until we get funded. But you see that art right there by Keithan, the little with her, yeah, right there.
Got it. So that's gonna be the mini poster.
Yes, it's gonna come with it.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
And then now this is okay. This was the $5 digital. This is the $10. You get the physical print of #3 and the physical poster.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the size in the poster? Is that like a backing board,
it's gonna be like a 9x11.
9x11. That's a good size. So
Yeah.
it'll fit right there in a sleeve with your backing board.
Yes.
Now this is where we're catching up here with folks who are in the news.
Yeah, but a lot of people like that tier right there with the digital. Some people that like the digital, I've seen a lot of people been backing that one. Well, all 3 issues.
Yeah. Well, again, this is people who are finding out that, Dorphise has actually done 2 other books and she's delivered on them. Now I'll go back and catch up and, get in on the Spirit's Destiny train.
Yeah. I had to do the fan favorite special. I had to bring back it a second time because people said they missed out on it. So now the first one is already sold out. So I had to drop another one.
So is this the one that's sold out or is there another one?
Yeah, it's the same thing. I just mimic it. But yeah, okay. The first one's already sold out. Now we got a second one. It's the same thing.
Okay, so this is for the fan favorites. You get the physical copies of 1, 2, and 3. And for 1, it's a remastered cover. Cover. Then you get the
that's my other series, Nia Kaler.
Nia Kaler. Okay, so what's Nia Kaler about here?
Nia Kaler is about my best friend. She was in the military, and I wanted to represent her. She's a lesbian, so I'm like, okay, let me just write a story about you and your you as a military brat and your relationship with your father. Her father was in the Air Force, and her relationship with her mother. She's one of the toughest characters in my universe. There's how Batman, he don't believe in killing. Well, she does. She don't care. She does not care at all. So
I was going to say, black female lesbian military background. She's just a step away from being Batwoman already.
Yeah, she's a killer machine. The first issue, you guys gonna learn about her persona. It's a little action in there. So the second issue is also gonna be edited by Greg. So I'm working on issue 2. Hopefully I release it this year. I had got a lot of great reviews from it.
Very cool. So that people can get in. This is the one to get in on if you haven't read the first 2 books. I mean, you can get them up here. PDFs, if you really, if you just want to test the waters. She's putting books out, folks. Just trust the process. Get the physical copies unless you absolutely have to have PDFs. And while you're at it, go ahead and get the mini poster and this other book that this is #1. Or is there going to be a #2 anytime soon for Nia Kaler?
Yeah. I'm dropping so many books this year. I'm trying to be consistent. And hopefully this Spirit's Destiny 3 turns out good, so I could drop 4 because 4 is going to be something everybody's going to look forward to because I'm bringing some historical facts from Haiti about Papa Doc. Papa Doc is one of the biggest one of Haiti's notorious leaders. He was horrible to his peoples.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that historical fact into my comics. Educate people about like what the Haitian people had to endure. From his him exiling the intellectual Haitians to assassinating them in front of children. So I had to really ask the older generation Haitians, like what was it like growing up with Papa Doc, and a lot of them was very shocking to tell me about it. And one lady told me, she said one day he told them to come outside, they had to witness an assassination, and she said she was only 7 years old. So they don't speak about that president, and he never stepped down after he passed on. His son took over. So
speaking of horrible, awful people, who's the bad guy that Spirit has to take on?
In the first arc,
yeah, as these first three issues,
it's a demon. It's basically a demon that she's actually battling right now, like her evil counterpart. If you guys are familiar with Raven, you see how her dad is the demon that's within her.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And then she has some issues with her father that you guys are going to learn about. So her father and her grandma is the reason why she has her abnormal abilities.
So it's a passed on thing. It's a legacy.
Yes.
She's a legacy hero.
Yes.
All right.
Her dad is a villain though, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was her grandmother a hero at some point, or?
No. The mom is the hero. But
the mom's the hero.
Yeah, the father appears in Nia Kaler. Both of the fathers, they create a serum. In issue 1, they create a serum. They injected their daughters, but the moms, they both forbid it. So in issue 1, Spirit's mom and her dad, they're actually physically fighting because she walked in on him injecting their daughter with a serum. If you remember Deathstroke, when he got injected with a serum, he had got abnormal abilities. That's what happened with Destiny, but she didn't know she has those abilities. So it's kind of work hand in hand with grandma with her mythical powers and with her dad injecting her with a serum. So
she's got stuff from her grandmother that's natural, and her father gave her stuff that enhances it artificially.
Yes.
So a super soldier spiritualist.
Yes. That's basically what it is. And the father, I'm working on his villain book with Nia Kaler father, so I have to at least get my mind into being a villain. So, but I'm gonna work on theirs. They both was in the Navy SEAL, so I'm gonna work on that later on.
All right, so but they do exist in the same universe, so that's cool. You're building out this entire expanded world that people are going to be able to, jump from one book to the other and still know all the characters.
Yes,
I like that. I'm a big shared world fan, and I also was DC growing up all my life, and I love that anything that happened in one DC book was like it had impact on the other DC books back when editors cared about stuff.
Exactly. Because I even got a Muslim character. I actually wrote it with a Muslim, so she's in the universe. She got her own little plot. I have another historical figure named Makanda. He's the one that was one of the first historical figures that poisoned slave masters. I wrote that with a guy because I can't write a guy's role, so I had to write it with someone. So, and then I got a piracy story. I have a lot of stories. I just, gotta be focused.
Well,
Judas Contract.
Yeah, you definitely know your Titans. We grew up with Perez and the Judas Contract being the first comic story we read all the way through. No thoughts on Starfire?
I love Starfire.
I guess he was asking you about your thoughts on Starfire here, and oops, I didn't mean.
I love Starfire background is very dark, especially her parents selling her for slavery. She was like a sex slave and stuff, and for her to overcome it. But they need better writers for Starfire, way better writers.
Yeah, she hasn't been the same since what the Rebirth and the New 52.
Yeah. She had her own comic book. I was buying it. It was good. It's just that it was not strong enough. But they just need a better writer. Maybe have a woman write her, and she need a new plot. But we'll see what happens with DC. You will never know.
Well, the the thing that's happening with her right now is that whole. You've probably seen the young adult novel I Am Not Starfire.
Oh, her daughter.
Yeah, which is like some future plotted thing. I'm like, well, if you're not Starfire, why am I reading about you? I want to read about Starfire.
Exactly. Yeah, I seen her daughter. She's goth and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, let's see what you guys go with that. I'm probably gonna pick it up tomorrow and see what goes on with that comic.
I'm going to unshare my screen here for just a second because Harrenberg's talking about growing up with the Judas Contract being the first thing he read. I probably really shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. We're going to jump into the Wayback Machine here and go to 1985 in RJ's bedroom. and
Look at that hair right there.
That's me at 17 years old with my Titans number 1, 3, 4, and 5 pinned to the wall here.
You still got them?
I don't.
Oh, that's worth money right there.
Oh, I know it. And, here's my annual number 1 and number 2. I loved the Vigilante when he was introduced. But, yeah, one time I had look, there's the anniversary issue of Donna Troy's wedding down in there. So, yeah, I'm a huge Wolfman, George Perez, Teen Titans fan and always had been. And I had the entire run beginning with the DC Comics Presents middle comic that they did with that Green Lantern Superman issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm feeling misty-eyed. Wish I had those books back.
What happened to the books? You lost them.
No, I didn't lose them. I got money for them, just not as much money as I should have got for them. But, you get out of college and you get bills and they got to be paid somehow. And that was the way I did it. And since then, I've somehow accumulated another 30 long white boxes over here to my left, starting from scratch all over again. And I've gone back and I bought a lot of the back issues over, but it's not the same.
Yeah, not the original that you had.
Seriously, I had gone back. I had saved my money and I had bought Brave and Bold 53, 54, which was that first Robin Aqualad Kid Flash team up, which was the origin really of the of the Teen Titans. I went
the tidy whities.
Yeah, and bring back the chops. Yeah, though I'm not going to go back and show those pork chops again. Things on the side of my face. It's bad enough as it is now. You got a bundle for shops. I love that. You can get
Maya told me to get the bundle for shops. We gotta show the comic book shops some love as well.
We do because they're getting stuck with a lot of stuff they can't sell. Well,
yep.
So this is 6 copies of number 3, plus the first 3 issues in PDF for $25. That's crazy. That's like less than $5 a book. Yep.
They're not making enough money right now, so I had to show them some love. Hopefully I'll go to one of my local comic book store tomorrow and speak to them. But a lot of people been shutting down their comic book store, so I wanted to just show support towards them as well.
Yeah, tomorrow night we have every other Saturday we do something called the LCS guys. And I've got local comic shop guys, they're from around the country. They all kind of come in and do a roundtable discussion about selling comics right there at the retail level. And I know that they like when I give them Kickstarters that have retail tiers. So I'm going to be passing this along to certainly Cosmic Comics in Belleville, Illinois will want a copy of this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And with that level, I don't think he's going to balk at it. That's cheap. So $30 is the physical bundle pack. So this is where you get, how is this different here? We get 1, 2, and 3 physical. You get the PDF of number 1. Okay, so is this the original number 1 physical or the remastered number 1 physical?
They're gonna get. I'm giving them both, every single tier, because so people could see how much different from both issues. So I was thinking, I'm like, a lot of people keep asking about the original number 1. I'm like, this is gonna be the last time. Like from this Kickstarter, this is the last time issue number 1, the original, will be distributed. So I am going to give everybody issue number 1, the original one.
Very cool.
And you guys get to choose the cover. The guy who did the cover, his name is Zach Dolan. He died last year. So you guys can choose either the Hill cover or Dolan's cover. So I'm giving everybody that choice. Also for issue 2, I'm giving everybody that choice as well. I have the variant cover by Anthony Piper. He used to work for DC and Marvel. So for issue 2, and 3 only has 1 cover, and then now we have that pin up right there by Keithan.
Yeah, and this is now it's in the 11 by 17 size. So this is a big poster now.
Yes.
So $30. That's
yeah.
Are you making any money, Dorphise? Come on, I mean, you got to be in this for profit.
My creative team is making money. I make money in cons.
There you go. Yeah, the cons are the place to go.
Yeah, I make money in cons.
That had to hurt this year.
Oh yeah, I went to a con last weekend. I didn't bring in a lot of books, but I sold out on most of my books. But yeah, it's hurting for us because when we went to C2E2, we made over $1,000 selling books.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they were supporting. People were supporting.
The people are ready to go back to cons and spend money. I can't wait to get to one myself now because we publish too, and I've been sitting on them all year long. Like this sucks.
Yeah. Oh, this bundle pack, I love it because it's all the Haitian, indie Haitian creators that actually been motivating me, that molded me. We have Chuck who came out with Bounce. Greg, who's my editor, he's on there. We have Newton. These are all successful indie creators, and I actually added my 3 comics. All 3 of them they're all graphic novels, so they really showed out and looked out for me. It's supposed to be one more Haitian creator, and he's located in Haiti. His name is Chevlin, but he's been so busy, so he's like a celebrity over there. So hopefully he gets back to me. I'm going to add it as well. I'll just put a picture on there.
And now this tier has got 1 physical copy, and the rest of these are all PDFs.
Yes,
but they're graphic novel PDFs. They're not like floppies. They're like
they're graphic novel. Greg does not write. He barely writes any regular floppy comics. He does mostly graphic novels. And Chuck is doing the bouncer. He used to be a bouncer, so all his is basically graphic novels. Very funny guy.
There was a question here back. There we go. Had to scroll back to find it here. Harold Berg says the shop deal is great, which it is. Can you please recommend your most supportive local comic shop in Miami?
There's one. I met the guy at the con. I forgot the name, but it's one in Hialeah. He told me to stop by. I need to go over there. I'm gonna get the name for you guys. And there's one in North Miami. It's not that far from me. So those are the only 2. They actually willing to take any indie comics. They're willing to show support. And I told them after the Kickstarter, I'm going to give them the book, and we're going to work out a deal. But they're willing to put my book up in their stores. They're really indie friendly.
I think a lot of stores are starting to get that way. It used to be that the stores didn't care about the they always cared about indies, but they knew where their money was when DC and Marvel were firing on all cylinders, but they didn't care about crowdfunding that much because that was a competition line to them rather than another source of supply. It's blended now. You get these sort of boutique comic stores that want to carry crowdfunded stuff because they know that the other stores aren't, and they can offer something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have another comic book store owner. She just opened up in Alabama. She supported my Kickstarter, LaShawn. So my comic book's gonna be in there as well. Me and her already discussed about it. So I'm trying to, and I have a few friends that's actually going to be assisting me getting me more comic books in Arizona and different parts of the country.
All right, and now we're getting into the fashion tier here, which I do that kind of thing here with people who crowdfund their books.
You just model it and
I like getting T-shirts, so I hope as long as they fit me, I'm happy. When they don't, I feel bad. So you get the 3 physical copies and the Spirit's Destiny logo T-shirt.
Yes.
$40. That's, again, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
You gotta figure the crowdfunding thing out, Dorphise, because you're supposed to be making some cash.
As long as my creative team is paid, I'm good.
There you go.
You always gotta pay your creative team first, and you always get paid last. So I trust me, I understand.
That's how the boss works it.
Yeah.
When it's
you get the money last, you get the profit last.
You get what's left over.
Yes, you get the chump change.
For $10, you can bump up that tier and throw in that full-size 11x17 poster. And why wouldn't you?
Of course.
Now this is where it just gets insane. I mean, Funko Pop.
Man, I wanted to go above and beyond.
So this is a Funko Pop. This is number 1, mythical and spiritual Spirit.
Get 3. You're supposed to get issue 3, but yeah, that one. The guy just did that for me. He's one of the best. Viet is one of the best Funko Pop indie creators right now. He did that with me in quick. He did design the box and everything.
Okay, so it's not Funko doing them. It's fan Funko Pop thing, but still, it looks great.
Yeah, he did a real good job.
And you're right. This does say physical number 1, but it should be physical number 3. So you get number 3 copy and the Funko Pop doll.
Yes.
If you're a Funko collector, these things are definitely what you want to put on your shelf because you're going to get such a limited supply of them in comparison to what else is out there.
Yep.
And then 150, we're getting into this is a crazy good looking action figure here. How are you getting these action figures made?
I got a guy in New York. He created my first action figure he did for me was Nia Kaler. And I was like, yo, you got to do one for Spirit. And then I sent it to him. He was done like in 2 weeks. He sanded down and everything. And he's actually watching the Kickstarter right now. And he did all those characters that's in the tier. So he did Grandma. He did Spirit's dad. So, and I have a Jewish character. Her series, I'm actually working on hers as well.
So do all these characters come in this one box?
No, they can't all fit in that box.
Okay.
That was showing an image. He also doing custom. If people want custom, they just pay a little extra for it. But yeah, he can do anything. I've seen him. He's awesome.
That is very cool. I'm going to hook you up with my 3D print guy who works with a lot of crowdfunded things. He does obviously not action figures because that would be a lot of articulation. But if you've got a front drawing, a side drawing, and a back drawing of your character, he works with people at cost to produce 3D prints of their characters, like a maquette or a.
Please give me his information.
I will do that. You want to talk with George Peter Gatsis on Twitter, and yeah, you'll be like the 20th person I've hooked him up with, and I'm keeping him busy, and I'm making no money, so I don't know why I'm doing it, but I just love seeing you guys do stuff. I've got my own thing I do, so I don't need to do comics.
I understand.
250, get it all, folks. The action top, the poster. Looks like all the comics right here, all 3 issues plus Nia Kaler. Yeah, this is just the Spirit box.
That's what it is. You might just say that, just the Spirit box.
Yeah. The full Spirit. Okay, and that is fittingly the last tier, $250.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Somebody surely has jumped on that already, so I'm dropping down here. One backer.
Yeah.
And it's not limited, so
very supportive, very supportive. I had the Nia Kaler. I had 2 people pick the $500 tier. They got their stuff. Actually waiting for the printer to send their because I did a custom cover for their the issue that put their character on there. I'm waiting for the printer to ship it to them. But they got majority of their stuff. They got all their stuff.
Okay, so you had a tier on the Nia Kaler one where they could get their own cover?
Yeah, and then I'm actually writing 6 pages for 6-page script that's gonna actually I'm gonna put in a Kickstarter. I'm gonna get it drawn out and everything.
That is very cool.
Yeah, they just gotta worry about covering.
So do you have another Kickstarter getting ready to launch here, or are you going to wait till this one's done before you launch?
I'm gonna wait till this one's done, and then I distribute everything. But the next Kickstarter is probably gonna be May 18th, Haitian Flag Day. I'm going to drop Makandal and a one shot of my grandma comic that's in the series. And yeah, I wrote Makandal with someone else, and Greg is currently editing it so I can start the art. But yeah, I'm trying to stay consistent. And then I have a pirate story that I'm actually working with a female editor. Finally, I've been trying to find one for the longest. So there's that, and then my Muslim story and Nia Kaler.
All right. Folks, jump in on this one, because if you came in late and you saw those higher ranking tiers, just getting the comic itself is cheaper than anything that I've seen. I mean, I've seen some lower priced books, but usually you're paying $30, $40 a book in crowdfunding. And for 25 bucks, go 25 just to get all 3 books. Do it.
It's the best option.
Now, what am I looking at? I missed this when I looked at it first. Okay, you're getting Spirit's Destiny #3 physical, 6 copies. That's the comic shop bundle.
Yeah, that's the comic shop bundle.
I wanted to get to the other bundle where you get all 3. There we go.
The fan favorite, yeah. You see how I put it 2? I had to put it the second time. Somebody asked me for 2 people. They're like, "Can you put another one?" I'm like, "Okay." So that's what I did.
So 6 people have already been in here. 44 are left. This is the only way. Well, this is the least expensive way that you can get all 3 books in physical form, as well as #1 of Nia Kaler and the mini poster. So,
yeah, I really sold out the last one. So
now you got an April 2021 delivery date on this. How close are you to being physically done with the book? I mean, is it just waiting?
The guy is. I am 70% done, and then he's gonna jump on issue 1. He does a 1 page a day.
That's a good rate.
Yeah, pencil and ink, 1 page a day. Yeah, he does not play at all.
All right.
So I'm thinking about that.
Do you always do Kickstarter? I mean, have you ever looked at the Indiegogo side of things? Because I know some people do both, because it's like you can.
I've never did Indiegogo. Probably in the future I will look into it. I've never been in that platform, but I've seen people use it.
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to each one of them. Neither one of them has. If somebody opened up a crowdfunding platform that took the best of both and threw away all the bad stuff, it would win. I like buying on Indiegogo because when I give it the money, it takes the money right then, instead of waiting until the funding day to take it out. Because if I'm using PayPal, I might forget that something's coming and spend it. But also with Indiegogo, you got your 30 days, and then you say, okay, I want to extend it another 30 just in case I got close but didn't hit it, which Kickstarter doesn't let you do. And when you do hit it, you can go in demand, which means you're funded, but you stay open like a mini store, and you just keep selling out of it. So people can keep coming to your page and buying it directly from there. And
that's a big pro. That's a very big pro.
Yeah, it's now I don't know how much money they take. I haven't done an Indiegogo myself, so I don't know if they take your chunk of money than Kickstarter does.
That's what we need to find out. How much money do they take? How much money they're making off of it?
Justin's in the chat. He's got his book on Indiegogo, so he knows all about the Indiegogo scene. You guys can connect on Twitter and share that out.
Will do.
So Spirit's Destiny is going to be shipping in April. You're going to start again on May on issue 4, or you said it was a different title?
Hopefully I get Spirit's Destiny out by, because he's still producing pages. So I told him he's gonna keep getting paid. Like I make sure I pay him every 2 weeks, and he's producing like every 4 pages. Hopefully I probably say towards the beginning of March I want to start shipping them out, because my colorist, he can color 3 pages in one day. So
you got a fast team.
Yeah, they're quick.
Yeah, is Spirit's Destiny? Is this limited? Like you're like, my story is going to be done in 6 issues and here you go? Or are you going in the Amazing Spider-Man routes? Like every issue is going to be a new story. Just keep cranking.
Yeah, new story. Because this is the first arc. Now I'm jumping onto a new arc. So, but yeah, I'm going to just continue, because this is my baby. This is what I start off with. And this is how people got to know who I am as a creative. So, but yeah, she's going to be my main character. I'm going to be very much more consistent with her. I'm tired of taking a hiatus. I'm tired of everybody cursing me out, saying that I need to stop, but I'm going to be very focused on Spirit, and hopefully I can drop another issue this year. I'm trying to at least drop 2 to 3 issues per year. I'm trying to be like Greg. Greg drops 3 issues of his comic per year. So I'm trying to be consistent with everybody.
There are some people who they're just machines, and they can do that. Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini, who do the Common America, they've dropped 3 issues of that in like the last 7 months, and they're going on a 4th one. So it's just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Because you don't want people to lose interest in your series, and that's what happened with me, because I've been in a hiatus for so long. Like I have a friend named Jerika. She's like, when are you gonna drop it? When are you gonna drop? I've been prolonging doing the Kickstarter for so long, because I'm like, okay, I'm not ready. I was just so nervous about it, and it was like, why did you wait so long? I'm like, I had a creative funk. Like I didn't know what to do. But when I got with Greg helped me out as a creative. So now I'm just like, my brain is just going now.
Yeah. Fans do not like it when writers leave them hanging. It's been 8 years, and I still haven't forgiven Robert Aguirre-Sacasa for not finishing Afterlife with Archie. Because I'm like, I need that closure. I've got to read it.
Yeah.
So issue 3 wraps up the story arc begun in issue 1, and issue 4 starts a new story arc, and you're not starting over with a new number 1? Come on, has comics taught you nothing, Dorphise?
Oh no, are you getting a new number 1? Well, I'm rewriting number 1, but yeah, you guys are gonna see, because issue 4 is gonna be in Haiti. You guys are gonna see the beautiful images of Haiti in the 1950s, 60s. So I wanted to show you guys that.
Okay, but you're going to keep the numbering. It's going to be number 4, not number 1 with like a new volume, like Captain Marvel does every other month.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm probably going to start it over at 6. After 6, I'm going to go back to number 1. And because it's a continuous for number 4, but it's like a different arc, but it's continuous of the same thing that's going on. You read too, so you're gonna see what I'm talking about. You're gonna see why I went down that route when you read 3.
All right. Well, I'm encouraging everybody in the chat to jump in on this one. 20 days to go, 162 backers. That's great. $6,000 goal though, so it is short. We are 1,817 and change, 1728 and change. I did math. I'm good. Get in there and back this one, folks. This one looks like a really good one, and I don't say that something's really good on my show if I don't think it is, because you all trust me. And
he read my comic.
If I think something's not so good, I'll just say, okay, folks, if this looks like something you'd like, you should go check it out. I like this one. I like it enough that I'm going to be getting in there and backing it myself. I got to make the cheddar too. So, Dorphise, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Is there anything more about this show or about the world you're building here that people need to know, or that you've been wanting to talk about and I've been dancing around?
Well, I'm over here just trying to create controversy and create awareness. I even have a character, a albino character that I created, that I'm writing about, and we're creating awareness about albino trafficking. You know, there's a lot of things going on in Africa where they're using their organs, human trafficking and all of that. So that's another comic series that I'm working on, and hopefully one day I can produce it. But you know, my whole goal is to create awareness, especially as a world history teacher. I'm always researching, and history is one of my favorite subjects. So
Was it? Did I know that human trafficking exists, but did you say albino trafficking?
yes, there's some people that believe that albinos organs are much more superior, so they're basically kidnapping them, cutting them open, and taking out their organs.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
Yeah. There's a lot of news articles about it. A lot of news articles.
I mean, as horrifying as human trafficking is, I at least get the drive that these evil people have. But this superstitious business, that's okay. I'm not going to get any sleep tonight now. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about that. But
all right,
this is our reality. This is what's happening. So.
The world is not a nice place.
Nope.
But we can fix that, and we can use comics to do that with.
Yeah, we're gonna build awareness one day at a time.
You're gonna have to put like a last page text wall to say, hey, by the way, this thing that you saw in this crazy comic book, this is real. And here's what
I'm gonna make sure I do that. I'm gonna make sure I do that. I'm going to put articles and all of that. Yeah, educate people to be aware.
Because if I read in a comic book, albino trafficking for organs, I'd be like, that's a crazy comic book story, and I would not take it any further than that. But and I'm living testament to the fact that comic books can raise awareness of people like this. I got to tell Mike Grell that when I was 12 years old, he accused me of homophobia with one of his John Sable freelance books. And when I was in college, Teen Titans, again, when they did the Spotlight, that first couple of issues with Starfire, I had no idea what apartheid was or how to even spell it correctly, but they dumbed it down enough for me to get like, oh, it's like, white people could be called black economically under apartheid because it was a labeling system that kept people down and apart. And it was weird, but I got it. So,
yeah, comics can educate you as well. So that's the good thing about creativity. There's no limitations.
Well, folks, get behind Spirit and get an education while you're at it. Dorphise, again, a pleasure to have you on the show. So glad you came on. Would love to have you back when you get the next book out, and we can talk more about that.
Yeah, I'll be back.
You definitely will. You got an open seat here anytime you want it. Just hit me up on Twitter and we'll schedule you in. Folks in the chat, always glad to have you here. We don't have a show without you. If you like this kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. We're at 1,300 subscribers, which we're so grateful for. Closing in on 3,000 watch hours. Trying to get that 4,000 where YouTube says we're a real boy. And
it's a pain.
Oh. Yeah. I don't care about super chats, but I wouldn't mind getting a couple advertising dollars here and there.
Exactly. That's the most important thing.
It is. That's we got to make money. do what you love, and then figure out how to make money at it. And that's what we're
exactly.
And you'll never work a day in your life. So, folks, we hope you had a blast.